Hello, everyone. This is from Milwaukee to Nashville. I'm Mr. Lagging Daniel Goodabout, and over there is John Lewandowski. Our show is brought to you by the wonderful folks at Hockey Locker, 2002 West Howard Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You can call them at 414-800-7585 or visit their website at hockeylockermilwaukee.com. Before we also get into our show, I would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving
Yep.
on behalf of our podcast and hope that you all enjoy it well. Just remember, you only got to deal with the in-laws 2 more times this year. All righty. Getting into this, the first game on the docket is the Greensville Swamp Rabbits. They were in Atlanta. So the Atlanta Gladiators versus the Greensville Swamp Rabbits.
All right. So in the first period, Atlanta outshot Greenville 15-3. In the second period, Atlanta outshot Greenville 11-6. In the third period, Greenville outshot Atlanta 15-10. And in total, Atlanta outshoots Greenville 39-28. Greenville has 19 minutes, 4 infractions on the power play, and Atlanta has 6 minutes, 4 infractions. Scoring in the first period for Greenville at the 101 mark was Tate Singleton scoring his fourth of the year, assisted by Colton Young his fifth, and Miles Gendron his second. Then in the second period at the 1925 mark, Atlanta scores with a goal from Carson Dunamy, his first of the season, assisted by Jackson Pearson, his third, and Eric Neely, his third.
I believe the pronunciation, I believe that is the same guy that used to play for the Moose. That's
Oh,
Carson Dinimani.
okay.
Scoring in the third is Parker Berg with an assist from Patrick Moynihan. Moynihan. I was at the 201 mark with then at the 9:11 mark of the third. Oof, rough. This is tough. Derek Topatic scores to tie it with an assist from Jackson Pearson and Eric Neely. So yes, the guy with the weirdly spelled name, it is pronounced Topatic.
Okay.
And no scoring in overtime in the shootouts. No goal for Bryce Brodzinski, no goal for Jackson Pearson. Patrick Moynihan scores. No goal for Cody Sylvester. Colton Young scores. Atlanta gets a point, but they lose in a shootout. In net for Atlanta was Ethan Hayter. He stopped 26 of 28 with a 92.87 save percentage. Well, in net for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits was Dryden McKay. He stopped 37 of 39 with a 94.8 save percentage. Um, I have not talked much about the ECHL standings. So I'm going to actually take a look at that and let you all know that the Atlanta Gladiators are in 13th place in the division. Um, it's not that they can't climb out of it. It's just that, well, the Florida Everblades, South Carolina Stingrays, Wheeling Nailers, Norfolk Admirals, and the Trey Rivers Lions have all been really good. Um, so with that being said, and not getting much help in our department with all the injuries and call-ups.
Right.
All right. On that note, to the team in which that will probably be in last place by the end of tonight, as I see that the Blackhawks are winning.
Well, before we get into that, 3 stars for the Atlanta game. Third star for the Gladiators was Carson Denemi. Second star for the Gladiators was Eric Neely, and first star for the Swamp Rabbits was Colton Young.
Yeah, he buried that game for them. And I am correct. The Nashville Predators are in last place. So the Nashville Predators took on the Philadelphia Flyers. This is one of the games where I said, if you got to, this is a we got to win.
Yeah.
We said this on our last show. You got to win this one. I said this on Monday as well. Um, on that, before we get into this game, Monday, the Timo Meyer situation, I am now calmed down enough on it, but I'm not going to be very kind with the league. It shows that there are circumstantial, situational, where a guy is going to now have to wear a bubble for about a month and a half. Um, Probably see the dentist a good bit in his, over the time. Good thing the team has a dentist that travels with them. Most hockey teams do.
Right.
Um, I know that the Admirals do, and I know that the Preds do. But Meyer gets a 1 game suspension that was served tonight. He will be back on Friday. I can't wait till we play him again because he's going to have to answer for that. And
Yeah.
by the way, LaRue laying down some hits tonight. I saw that as well. So we'll get into that game now.
All right. So as he said, Nashville took on Philly tonight. Shots on goal in the first period, Nashville outshot Philly 10-6. In the second period, Nashville outshot Philly 9-7. In the third period, Philly outshoots Nashville 9-6. And in total, Nashville outshoots Philly 27-23. All right, the Predators did quite a bit better in the face-off circle tonight at 59.6% to Philly's 40.4%. Philly goes 0 for 1 on the power play with 6 penalty minutes, while the Predators go 0 for 1 with 6 penalty minutes. Philly out-hit Nashville 25-23. Philly out-blocked Nashville 32-11. Philly had 37 giveaways to Nashville's 29. And Philly had 5 takeaways to Nashville's 4. All right.
The
So,
next time these two teams meet as well is on March 31st.
okay. All right. So, scoring in the first period for Nashville at the 6:17 mark was Yossi scoring his fifth, assisted by Carrier with his fifth. Then at the 12:46 mark for Philly, Laton scores his third of the year, assisted by Poling his seventh. Then at the 16:18 mark for Nashville, O'Reilly scores his fourth of the year, assisted by Nyquist his fourth, and Shea his seventh.
Then in the third, Morgan Frost scores his third with an assist from Sandheim, his ninth, and Couturier his seventh. That ties it with
12 seconds left.
12 seconds, 13 seconds roughly, depending on where the timer was.
Right.
Um, then in overtime, Sean Couturier scores his sixth with an assist from Travis Konechny, his 16th, and Rasmus Ristolainen, his fifth. Preds lose back-to-back games for, well, it seems like forever. The Nashville Predators in the standings are defensively league wide are the 30s are ranked. Let's see, that's 32, 31, 30, 29th. 29th in the league defensively. They are ranked goals for they are in 31st. As far as goals against, they're middle of the pack. So they're
Yeah.
not giving up a whole lot. Um, their rank in the league is 32nd in the league. They are dead last.
Yeah, they are.
Um, I at this point have no answers. Trotz came out and said today that Bruno's our guy, so Bruno's our guy.
Right.
So they're not going to fire him. And if uppers are yelling at Trotz to fire him and he's not doing it, Trotz is going to be the one to go.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring in somebody who will do it. The other thing I've started to really think about is maybe it's time to get a new scouting team because a lot of the guys that we're drafting don't fit the mold. It just doesn't seem the physical, gritty type of hockey. Yes, Nashville's great for that, but you got to put the puck in the net too. And you can't do that playing that style of hockey on every line. So you
Right.
got to get it going in some manner or another. It just doesn't seem like it's working for Nashville right now. They put all this money in. Um, it just doesn't look good. By the way, Charlie Lindgren of the Washington Capitals, you should be embarrassed. Uh, he shot the puck in his own net. Um, the Preds,
Here, I just want to say something. No one will probably like what I have to say, but if anything isn't gonna get fixed, on the bench or in the upper at this point, maybe a fire sale and listening to options on everyone that doesn't have a no trade clause you start doing.
and the guys who have modified, you let them go too. The teams that they give you, because the 15, I
Like,
think.
like you have your big name guys signed that you brought in or that were there that you extended or re-signed. Fine, build around that because it currently does not look like they're building around it correctly. I'm not saying Milwaukee's not doing their job or building great hockey players. They are, but it seems like the ones that are currently lined up just aren't fitting what you signed and invested in to get something going.
And the other part of that too is Shea and Carrier and Stamkos and Marchessault with the re-signings of this year haven't really done a whole lot. Let me grab this and take a look at.
Contract years, though, I've noticed in whatever sport it is, generally the player does not do that great. When we're
Uh,
talking the big name players, I should say.
yes. Um, just all right. Roman Yossi is a minus 13 with 18 points. Phil Forsberg is a -5 with 17 points. Ryan O'Reilly is a 13 points minus 10. Jonathan Marchessault 12 points minus 11. Stamkos minus 14 with 11 points. Gustav Nyquist has 10 with minus 11. Brady Shea has a -5. That is the lowest in the defenseman category at -5 with a plus with 9 points. Luca Evangelista in 21 games has 8 points and a +1. Alexander Carrier, 6 points minus 11. Mark Delgaizo, he's only played 16 games, but he's a -1. Luke Shed played 23 games, -8 with 1 point. Jamie Lazan -4 with 22 games played, with 1 point. So that is the lowest with total on that note. Dante Fabro, 6 games played, no points, -3. Blankenberg, Willsby, and Blankenberg and Willsby both played today. Stastny was assigned to Milwaukee to give that update. It feels good.
Yeah.
Um, let's just talk about this real quick. UC Saros, 19 games played, 2.858 goals against average with a 91.3 save percentage and 6 wins, 10 losses, 2 overtimes, and 2 shutouts. He has over 500 saves already.
Yeah.
Scott Wedgwood is 1-2-1 with 115 saves in 5 games played.
I don't know. In my opinion, if we're paying Saros what we're paying him, I'd expect his save percentage to be 94 at the littlest.
And 91 isn't horrible.
No, it's not horrible. But
The
for what he's getting paid,
the other problem is whatever the defensive,
breakdowns?
yeah, that would be the exact words I'm using, is insane. Now, there is something that came out. Elite Process Ringside. Guess who's tearing it up in the SHL right now?
Oh,
David Enstrom. Who'd the Preds trade Yarrow for?
no.
David Enstrom. David Enstrom and he's getting around 16 to 18 minutes a night with Frölunda Hockey Club. Um, he's going from the second line to the third line every night. He's been managed to put up 5 points in 4 games this week, including a pair of 2-point performances in a matchup against Skellefteå AIK. Um, my thing with that is with Enstrom, and don't get me wrong, here's that whole Preds prospect thing. Back to that whole thing again. But the Preds, looking at it just from the system perspective, Joey Willis, 30 points, 21 games played, 16 goals, 14 assists. Miguel Marquez, 20 games played, 10 goals, 19 assists, 29 points. Victor Nortinger, he's playing for Frölunda as well. He has 24 points. Aiden Fink at Penn University has 21 points in 13 games. Cole O'Hara at UMass has 20 points in 14 games. Matthew Wood has 14 points or 18 points in 14 games at the University of Minnesota. Much better in his sophomore season.
Yeah.
Um, just adding that in, and Tanner Mollendijk might be a guy I might be interested in calling up at this point
Yeah.
because he has 16 points in 17 games since leaving the Preds rookie camp. For a defenseman, that is insane. David Edstrom for Frölunda has 18 games played. He has 12 points, and he's a +5. At this point, if I'm Nashville, I might start thinking again for bringing some of these guys over as well as like a Felix Nielsen. Igor Shurin was Locomotive, Yaroslav Locomotive team. He is also one of the Preds' first round picks this last season. 24 games played, 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points, a +2, and 12 penalty minutes in their AHL league. He has 5 games played with 5 points. So at that point, it may be time to take a look at some of these guys. Ben Stratton at the University of North Dakota, formerly the Fighting Sioux. Third 7 points in 13 games. Last year he was doing horrible. Teddy Stiga of Boston, he's played 12 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. So there's a lot to be had there. Our college guys are tearing it apart.
Yeah.
Um, Looking at it, for Cal Yuha Gatkola for Calpa and Liga, 12 games played, 2.42 goals against average with an 89.6 save percentage. He's 5-4-3 with one shutout. Jacob Malata, drafted this year, 12 games or 20 games played, 3.11 goals against average with a 90.5 save percentage. He is 9-8-3. For the Admirals, Matt Murray and Magnus Corona have been doing quite well, but the Admirals are on a 4-game slide.
Yeah.
Uh, Matt Murray has a 5-2-2 record with a 2.35 goals against average and a 92.4 save percentage, while Magnus Corona is 4-2-1 with a 91.8 save percentage and a 2.44 goals against average. The worst goalie in our system is Konstantin Volkov with the Kulin Red Stars out of China in the KHL. He has 7 games played with a 4.84 goals against average. And I'm sorry, but there's an ad in the way, and I gotta wait. Uh, 83.2 save percentage. He is 0-5. So with all that being said, um, goaltending seems to be their biggest drawback right now.
Yeah.
Um, Here's the thing. I don't want to go get Jacob Trouba. I think he's too old. I think he's slow. I think 8 million is a big price to pay. The Preds have 2.5 million in open cap. That would mean moving quite a few people to get that to be able to happen. Right now, if anything, I see the Preds moving guys relatively soon. The Preds fans are getting restless here. Just looking around to see if who, looking around to see what was also posted. Um, Nothing else in on that front. So, um, we're gonna go with that. And as I so kindly have to say, I just checked out a clip from Bruno in the as far as what he said. The Devils are in the detail of what's wrong with the Preds, and ironically, if you look back at the Devils game, it's a lot of turnovers, it's a lot of bad defensive play. They're leaving Saros out to dry. And these guys have to go out there and play the goalies have to stop pucks, yes, but you can't stop everything if your defense is leaving things open.
Yeah.
In any sport where you have a goalie, it is imperative that you defend him. And I don't see that with Nashville. I don't see a spark anywhere.
Right. There's an old saying, defense wins championships.
And Nashville is 29th in the league in that department. There's a moment where I have a few things I've thought about wanting to say, and I will hold those off until Saturday. Thank you all for watching and have a great Thanksgiving.